right, guys, welcome back to the Fighters Eye podcast. Today we have UFC welterweight Bassil Hafez. How are you today, sir?
Good, man. Appreciate you having me, Trace.
Yes, sir, man. I pronounced your name right, correct?
You did. You did.
All right, cool.
Everybody says Basil all the time, so I'm happy you said it right.
Yeah, as the best interviewer in the MMA space, you gotta make sure you get the names right.
I like that confidence, bro. Hell yeah.
Thank you. But let's get right into it. My first question is, how did you get into the UFC and the MMA scene, and what did you see, or like was it a certain fighter that you looked up to, that what made you want to become a professional MMA fighter?
Growing up, I watched the UFC a bit and got more and more into it as I got older. And I had a Chuck Liddell poster on my wall as a kid, and I was a
Hmm.
big fan of GSP as well. Um, so I always was into it. And then I got in fights a lot as a kid in the street, just doing stupid things I shouldn't be doing, and hanging out with the wrong people, and get arrested. Got in trouble one time, got arrested, and ended up paying the price for it. And at that moment, decided to clean my life up and try training and fighting organized. And my cousins were training at Balance Studios at the time, and so they kept telling me to come in. And I think I fought with it for about 6 months, like the confidence of like just doing it. And then
Hmm.
one day I just said F it, and I showed up, and never looked back. About 14 and a half years later.
Yeah, I mean, when you started MMA, was the goal, I want to be in the UFC, or is it just kind of like, I'm gonna do MMA to keep me out of the street life?
Yeah, I definitely think at first it was like I feel like I had no purpose, and I was just going down the wrong path. I had just lost my mother to breast cancer.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you, man. Probably it was probably about a month and a half. No, actually, it was about a month. It was a month later after she passed that I got arrested and got in this fight, and it was kind of like at that moment I was dealing with a lot. My dad was dealing with a lot, and my family was, and it was just I had my own awakening and epiphany that I need to stop just messing around and doing stupid stuff and getting in trouble, getting arrested, and having no goals in life. And so I kind of was a little still figuring out the exact formula of what I was going to do, and building the confidence to it. And I think it was like maybe a month after the fight, 2 months after the fight, maybe less than that. My cousins were like, "Yo, you should step in the gym and you should try martial arts. You obviously can fight. Just learn Brazilian jiu-jitsu and this and that." And so I swear, like 6 months of it, just them seeing me. We used to see each other at like family get-togethers, and they would tell me, and I would be like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." And I just didn't have the confidence to like actually do it. And then I was signed up for community college. I think I like didn't go the first day of classes. I just never showed up. And I was just like, I don't want to go to college. I don't want to do this. I had a lot of things in my mind of why, I
Hmm.
didn't think it was the right time for that. And then, like, short after that, I just hit my cousin up, and he was training. He was going to be training that day. So he told me to come up, and it was Sunday. And I came in the gym and I met Ricardo Miglerese. And, 14 and a half years later, now I'm in the UFC.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you at UFC 302, you got your first UFC win, second UFC fight, but first UFC win. What did that mean to you to go in there, beat someone like Mickey Gall, who, he has a win over CM Punk, which is, kind of a good win considering what CM Punk does in wrestling. But
I was more happy to fight Mickey just because we were both regional guys. Like he was a Jersey guy,
yeah,
I was a PA guy, and I was always like that coming up. Like I was very like hungry and like wanted to fight other guys that were on my weight class in the nearby, in the syndicate and everything. And that's why I always maybe wanted to fight guys in my weight class, whether I knew them or not. I just wanted to I had that like competitive nature, and so I competed against Mickey Gall in a grappler's quest, and I beat him for like a finals match for absolute championship belt.
hmm
Um, I think it was like Asbury Park. But it was grappler's quest, and that was like so long ago. And then he started fighting more, and then he got on Dana White's looking for a fight, and then he got signed to fight him. So a lot happened after that, and then me, I
yeah,
ended up fighting. I ended up having injuries, and then I had losses at times that would keep me from getting signed, and so I had a longer path. And then when I got him as the matchup, it was kind of bittersweet. It's like, yeah, hell yeah, I've been wanting to fight Mickey for some time. Not that I have anything against him. He's actually a really nice guy. And like after the fight, we talked, and even the next fight, we both were fighting the same event. Sadly, we both had bad results, but he was very respectful and cool then, and even helped me let me use one of the scales that he had. So respect to Mickey. He's a good person, and I was just more like a competitive nature. I just wanted to fight somebody nearby, local, juggernaut kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, did the fight play out how you expected? Because it was an all-out war. I mean, before that, you had fought Jack Della Maddalena, who is the current welterweight champion, which is crazy that that's your debut fight, and you lasted longer than Gilbert Burns did. So, is that kind of did you kind of expect to go out there and finish him because of how? I mean, you hit JDM with some clean shots that hurt him.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, I mean, I definitely was grateful to get the opportunity and be able to fight somebody like JDM. And I did it on 3 days' notice with no camp, and definitely feel like it would have been a different story if I had full camp. And the Mickey fight, I mean, I would have liked to finish, and I feel like I don't know. Things have been not ideal in my camps going in.
Hmm.
The golf fight was a good camp, and then the fight after that wasn't really a great camp. It was short and had MRSA going into it, and there's a lot of stuff going on. But I'm excited for the next one. I'm excited to get healthy and hopefully get my first UFC finish and continue to climb the ranks. And my last fight I feel like is nowhere near an example of who I truly am as a fighter. Um, had new coaches in my corner, new things going on in that camp, and just didn't do what I was supposed to do in the fight at all. And yeah, I'm excited to just rewrite that.
Yeah, I was doing some research. I seen you train in Colorado right now. Is that
Yeah,
right?
I moved out to Denver
What,
about 4 years ago. From
with are you like with Trevor Whitman and all them, right? Well,
I
Whitman or
train in a
no?
few gyms out here. I train in
Oh, okay.
right now. I've been unhealthy, been dealing with the knee injury, back to back surgery, so it's been a long time. I haven't been able to do everything I want to, but I do normally train over there with Gaethje and them at Onyx, and I go up to Dwayne Ludwig's Bang Muay Thai. I train with him for striking now, and get my jiu-jitsu in at Easton when I can. Just go and really training wherever. We're all around.
Well, yeah. How has it helped you since moving up to Denver? Obviously, Dwayne Ludwig, Trevor Whitman, two of the best minds in MMA, and you have Justin Gaethje, Kamaru Usman with them. TJ Dillashaw. I don't know if he's still with Dwayne Ludwig. I don't know if he shows up to that gym, but I
I
know
think
he
he's
trained with
retired.
Dwayne.
I think he's retired. He's a legend. He's
Well,
retired now.
well,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know if he still trains. I don't think so.
He
I
lives in
know he's.
California, I think. He doesn't live out here. I think he
Oh
just
wow.
came. He would just, I don't know if I wasn't here during his camp, so I don't know if he was like just train, come out here and train and
Yeah.
or be here, living here. So I'm not going to speak on something I don't know, but he's a legend. I think he's retired. He had a lot of shoulder problems and
Yeah.
injuries. It's like a lot, stuff that happens with fighters. They have injuries that keep you from being able to continue doing great things. And but yeah, no, I mean, this great guys, all the people that you mentioned, all the coaches, the lineages, the fighters. Yeah, I mean, it's more just something to aspire and be grateful to be around. So it's something that reminds you and awakens you every single day. Like, yo, this is not a joke. This is not like something to take easy. This is my life. This is my job. This is
Hmm.
a very important thing. And there's world class fighters all around me at all times. So it makes you have to hone in at all times to be the best you can. And so I'm grateful to have these guys around me, and I'm just excited to get back to training. And there's so many more guys. I mean, you named a couple of them, but there's guys that don't get their shine that
Yeah.
are just as good on the regional scene, or the guys that Bellator that haven't got to the UFC just yet. But like, yeah, I have so many great fighters around me and coaches, so definitely going to look forward to taking advantage of that and getting another fight in UFC and hopefully getting my first finish.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Kamaru Usman's coming off a big win over Joaquin Buckley. Not my happiest day. It happened right when it turned my birthday, and I love
Are you a
Buckley,
Buckley
so
fan?
I am the
Oh,
number one Buckley fan. So
sorry,
I was,
bro.
it happened right at midnight, right when it turned my 18th birthday. So I was like, damn. But I love Usman too. But I mean, what did you make of Kamaru Usman's
Hey, there's fans.
performance?
There's fans of everybody on both sides, man. Someone's always gonna be upset.
Yeah. But what did you
I
make
thought it
of
was great.
Usman?
I thought Usman's performance was great. I thought he
Hmm.
wrestled and reminded everyone that he can technically win a fight whenever he wants, and he did it with like a guy who's been tearing through everyone, knocking everyone
Yep.
out. And Kamara just basically shut down all of his anything, any one of his strengths. Maybe he landed like one shot at one point or two good shots at some point, but anytime that it's like more than one, he was getting taken down, he was getting clinched. Kamara was able to really like masterfully win that fight. And Buckley's a great fighter. I don't think anything bad about him. It's just like Kamara is a different level.
Yeah, I know Usman, reminded the welterweight division in his post fight that he's still that guy at welterweight. I know he called out the winner of JDM versus Islam. Me personally, I'd love to see JDM versus Usman. If JDM keeps the belt, I think that's a great fight. But do you believe Usman deserves the next title shot over people like Sean Brady who just dominated Leon, or even someone like Shavkat, even though it's kind of inconsistent.
Yeah, I mean, I think the top contenders for the welterweight title right now are Shavkat and Usman, or Bilal. I mean, when you think about it, so Bilal losing really it doesn't make Sean, I don't know, in my opinion, get the next title shot because technically, like how I would see it is you got to right that wrong. So like you got to beat Bilal again,
Yeah.
or again you have to beat Bilal because he beat you the first time. So and it wasn't like it was a close fight. It was he shut down Sean's wrestling and then he TKO'd him. So
Hmm.
and it was a first or second round. So it wasn't like they were close the whole fight and then something got happened in the late round or it was a decision and split decision. So I think if Bilal had defended the title and won against JDM, then it'd be like Brady versus one of them for the number one contender spot, like JDM or maybe Usman. But right now, it seems more like Usman and Shavkat are the top contenders, and I think
Yeah.
below that is Bilal Sean. Like Bilal Sean have to fight, and there's the third contender.
Yeah, I know. I know Bilal and Sean Brady have both showed an interest in fighting Ian Gary. I like it. I love Ian Gary,
I
so I
forgot
don't
about
mind it.
Gary. Yeah, I
I
mean
don't mind it.
he did the right thing in being the company man, like saying like, "Yo, I'll make weight
Yeah.
short notice for that," and like, yeah, I mean, he took his shot, and like, you can't hate on that, but I don't think that automatically then thrusts you. If it didn't happen, like they both made weight and they fought, I don't think that automatically then thrusts you immediately. Then you get the next title shot. You
Yep.
just took advantage of an opportunity that nobody else did yet. Which surprisingly, I don't know why nobody else did at the time. And there's so many contenders. Like one of them, be like, "Yo, I'll show up and be the alternate." Like, you get paid to be an alternate. I will fucking do that shit in a heartbeat. Like you're
Yeah.
basically making weight, and then you get to fight. And if you don't fight, you still get paid. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yes, I don't know. I think it's Ian Gary's is probably the same like contender spot as like Bilal and Brady. I think Shavkat and Usman are probably like top two guys next. I don't know if they're
Yeah.
gonna do one of those guys or they're gonna fight. They're gonna make each one fight each other. I don't know how they usually do. I know the UFC is very like they have their own unique way of how they pick the fights.
Yeah, I know like welterweight right now in that top five is very interesting because like as we talked about Shavkat, Usman, Bilal, Brady, Ian, they're all right there that are either right there for the title shot or one win away from a title shot. So it's gonna be interesting how the UFC plays it out because I know someone's feelings are gonna get hurt when it comes to not being the next title fight.
That's how it goes, man. It's a sport.
Yeah, I mean, but let's go back to your JDM fight because you took it on 3 days' notice. I thought you won the fight. I after that third round had ended, I was like, JDM just lost to a UFC debut. Obviously, it was a split decision loss. Did you watch it back after? Did you feel like you won that fight?
I felt like at the time I won the fight, but I could see how they would have given it to him. I know I watch the sport. I'm a fan of the
Hmm.
UFC as well, and so I've seen how fights go. And you could win the first two rounds and lose the third round in a more decisive way, and then you would lose the fight. That's not how
Hmm.
it's supposed to be, but that happens a lot. And so, like off the rule set, I thought I won. If you're just looking as a fan and you're like, all right, who landed more damage? Only the damage. Yeah, he landed more damage because you mainly look at that third round. I gassed out. I gassed out going into the second round. The third round was like, I was in my corner just like, dude, I don't know how I'm gonna do this going to. I was so damn tired. And I still pushed through, and you could see if you watch the third round, like completely different fighter than I was in the first and the second,
Hmm.
especially the first. And so, in reality, like I feel like if I was in shape, it would have been a different story. But given what happened, I still feel like I won the fight. I understand how he could win he could have won the fight, and he did win the fight. And so it's one of those things that can go either or. Anyone that says definitively it's this way, it's like you don't know what you're talking about. Shut up. You're not a judge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like in that first round, if you like you said, if you had that full camp, dude, I feel like
I
that
almost
fight
arm
would have
triangled
been.
him. Almost arm triangled him the first round. I did actually, but it just wasn't enough time. It was deep.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wasn't in shape at all, man. I, I was fucking around on my motorcycle, driving and living life before that because it was like, oh, short notice. I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. And then I had a motorcycle accident 5 weeks before that fight, and I was in really good shape. Got in a motorcycle accident and like totaled my bike, fractured my wrist, and like road rash.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I couldn't train for a bit. Like I could show up. I would just show up and just do what I can. Like hop on the Airdyne bike, after the road rash healed a certain point where I could like sit on it and not feel pain the whole time. But like I would just be new when I can. And then like by the time that fight rolled around, that Friday before the fight, like 1 week before, was the first Friday I sparred again after like what 5 weeks of not training. So
Oh, wow.
I was just like getting back into it. I wasn't even close to good shape, and it sucks. Like obviously, I wish sometimes you wish like, oh, I wish I didn't fucking crash the bike. I wish I should maybe I just didn't ride the motorcycle. Then I would have been in better shape. And then complete different fight. I wouldn't have been gassed in the second and third. I would have been able to continue doing what I was doing. And his jiu-jitsu, I don't think is that good personally. I think that's where guys can beat him. I think that's where Islam beats him. Not just wrestle fuck him because he's a scrambler, right? But you have to be able to technically beat him in jiu-jitsu. You have to be able to pass his guard, control that side control. Then
Mhm.
while you're in side control, continue like a little ground and pound. I didn't have any fucking cardio, so I wasn't doing any ground and pound in my fight. I was just trying to make sure I didn't gas completely. Um, so like, yeah, more ground and pound. But ideally, like when I passed his guard and I felt his jiu-jitsu, like it felt like I was rolling with like a purple belt. And like, when I roll, I'm a black belt. When I roll with a purple belt, like, yeah, it's competitive to an extent. But when I get to the nitty gritty of passing guard, side control, north south, or anyone of like these technical positions, they don't know. They might make a mistake to get out of it. I mean, the first time
Yep.
I saw that, he gave me the head and arm choke, but it was like not enough time left. Obviously, I think he's gotten better from then, but people get better as well, not just him. So I think, person that beats him is going to be someone that's going to submit him.
Was there any hesitation taking that fight when you got the call considering the motorcycle accident, or you're
Zero,
like,
zero, zero.
wow,
Now, I'm of the mindset like I'll die on my shield. I don't give a shit.
yeah,
If I die, if I go out in the cage and fucking, I mean, obviously getting knocked out sucks, and I think I just didn't have the mindset I would get knocked out then. And obviously, my last fight was a wake up call to not just
hmm,
be like a dickhead and just go out there and just bang your head against the nail, thinking you're never gonna get knocked out. Um, and so like going into that fight, no, there was zero hesitation with that. It was more like obviously I was like worried about gassing, and my coaches did a good job of pushing me mentally, like to not think about that and just believe I was ready to go regardless,
yeah,
And even at my most tired, like my coach said it, even I was at my most tired, I still could wrestle with him. If it was somebody else, probably a different story. Somebody who had good wrestling at the time, like might have been, they would have been able to stuff a takedown and then take advantage of me being so gassed. But
yeah.
yeah, no, I mean, I definitely think there was no hesitation. I was so excited for that. Like I was asking for that fight beforehand, and I think so. There was a couple pullouts that happened before that. I think I said yes to Josh Keeneland, and then they picked someone else. I think, or he picked someone. I forgot. I don't know how it works. Sometimes it's the fighter. Sometimes it's the matchmaker. They pick someone else.
Yeah.
Depending on who you are. And then it was Michael Chiesa. I said yes to, and then he said no. I guess to every person that they offered. He just didn't want a short notice, and then he didn't fight that night. And the third person was JDM, but that was like a whole headache because it was like he was supposed to fight the week before, and then it was like 2.5, 3 weeks of me not knowing if I would fight JDM and will I? I'm like, because he had the first matchup with Sean Brady, then Sean Brady pulled out because of staff, and then it was supposed to be some other guy, and the other guy had a brain tumor or
Yeah.
something, and then it was like, are they even gonna do the fight? So I just didn't think it was gonna. I thought the fight was gonna be off, and I was like, whatever, because it was past the point of where they were like, all right, we'll just push it to this card, and then like my manager hit me up. I was at training on Monday night. I was at strength training, and I was like just starting to do a little bit of workout, and all of a sudden my phone's blowing up. I pick it up, and it's my manager, Jason House. He goes, "Yo, you're in." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "You're in. You're fighting JDM this Saturday." I'm like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, let's
Yeah.
go. I
Yeah. I
don't
mean,
know, like,
obviously.
yeah, like my
Oh,
mindset's like I'm not gonna see, like I've been in situations where there is like I'm not 100% or I'm not the best I'm gonna be, or I'm not like everything is ideal. Like I farted perfectly that morning. I took a great shit and fucking my dog walked and shat on the first walk, and I drank water and it felt amazing in my body, and I had a great meal, and then nothing's gonna be perfect, right? Like
yeah.
so like I've had a lot of times where I didn't have the perfect situation. I still fought. And so like for me, it's more about the opportunity, right? I think if you go out there and you're made of the right stuff, when you have the opportunity, even if you're not at your best, you're still gonna shine. You're gonna have the
Hmm.
ability to make yourself shine. And so like even if my first fight back, they're like, yo, short notice, we just want you to fight the champ. We want you to fight JDM. I'd say, fuck yeah. I haven't had a fight since my last fight. I haven't been training. Like, I don't care. It's an opportunity that's hard for me to say no to. Obviously, like you want to be in great shape, you want to be ideal situation going in, but you can't always compete.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, obviously, so you haven't fought since November. It was Bon Elliott. Um, I know you said you were sick or something going into that fight. How long? Wait, you said you were sick, right? I don't know what it's called, but
MRSA.
you
I was
MRSA, yeah.
I wasn't sick. I almost lost my foot.
Oh, okay. I don't even know what MRSA is. So I was like, oh,
You know what
but
staph?
yeah, staph infection, yeah.
So MRSA is it's like a staph that's resistant to antibiotics.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so
How,
like
how
basically I'm not trying to blow up their spot, but I went to Extreme in Vegas. I went to Vegas for a little bit for training, this and that, and then also get like some other stuff looked at. And then when I was out there, I ended up getting what I thought was just a like I so I went to Extreme that night. It was like I had like a looked like a bug bite or mosquito bite. And then the next morning, it started to look like staph, and I was like, "Oh shit, I don't have any staph." Like, so I have like usually here back where I live, I have like legit antibiotic cream that is from like a doctor that would work like as soon as I start using it. Because I like to keep it ahead of time because if you wait till you get the doctor and then by that time it's like full blown staph and then it takes all this time. So I like to if I have it ahead of time, I see it starting, then I'll just take care of it and then it doesn't even blow into anything. And so I
yeah.
was in Vegas when this started for like 5 days, and then it happened. I got it on like I was there for like 4 days, and I got it on the second day, I think. And then the third and fourth day, I was just trying to treat it with like different antibiotic creams, different this and that. It just never got better. It just kept getting worse and worse every day. And then I got back here, and I'm trying to remember it exactly. I remember I got back here, and like it was Monday morning. I woke up, and it was like fucking triple. It was like it was swollen. If I show you a picture of it, it was crazy. It was like swollen, double the size of my right foot. I had a big hole of like pus coming out where like the head of it was. It was pretty bad. So I was like, all right, I don't know what the fuck to do. I hit up my friend and she was like, yo, go to the urgent care now. So then I went into urgent care and they were like, yo, I had a fever and everything. I didn't even know. They were like, yo, thankfully you came in. They're like, if you would have waited like another day, then because I started to get a fever, like if you would have waited another day, then you would have had to go on IV antibiotics and been in the hospital and all that for like because it takes like if you're that's what happened basically. You know when Bilal had to pull out of his Shafkat fight.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think it was a Shafkat fight. That's when he had the staph. The same
Hmm.
thing. He had MRSA. It's when it gets
Oh,
to
okay.
he had it to the bone though. So he waited. He basically waited like I waited till if I waited another couple of days, it would have been the same situation, or a day or two, it would have been the same situation. But I went early enough, I guess. And so they treated it, and then like I had a hole in my foot for a while because they had to cut it. They had to cut it open. Like
Hmm.
basically, they take a scalpel and they cut into the cyst pocket, and they cut deep in your foot because they have to get all of it out there. Because how it works is if they don't remove all of it and they leave a little bit, I could be like half recovered, and then all of a sudden, staph will start back up and it'll pus back up. It'll be the same thing. So they have to like cut into your foot, create a hole, and like pull all of that shit out. It was wild. I got videos. Nasty shit. But so that happened like yeah, 6 weeks out from the fight. Oh no,
Oh, okay.
that happened 5 weeks out from the fight. Sorry.
And then how long until you were able to like train fully again?
I didn't. I was due. I had four. I had like basically 3.5 weeks of hard cardio.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so 3.5 weeks. So I have no complaints. I mean, it could have been better. I could have had a better camp,
Hmm.
more preparation, better stuff going on. Not being having MRSA for part of it, but whatever. That's not an excuse. My opponent, you know, capitalized on a mistake that I made, and that's fighting.
Did your foot affect you in the fight itself, or by the time fight night came, it was completely cool?
No, I think it was completely cool. I think it just affected the beginning of my camp, and then like like being able to do certain things I wanted in the beginning, which
Hmm.
affects your game plan. But um, no, honestly, man, I could have done some things better, and I feel like I would have won the fight. I could have just
Yeah.
made some different decisions.
Yeah, I mean, like after that fight happened, did you kind of want to get back in there right away or as soon as possible to, because how do I say this? It was like your last fight obviously didn't go your way, so you wanted to write a new chapter and just get back in there, get the win, and kind
Yeah,
of
I feel
make
like a lot
people.
of people have that. Like you hear that a lot. Guys will be like, "Oh, I lost," and then I wanted to get right back in there. And I'm like,
Hmm.
like for me, it's not always about get right back in there. It's about fix the mistake, you know.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of times the mistake or whatever the loss happens for a real reason, not just like flip of the coin. It's very rare. I mean, this
Mhm.
is two of the greatest guys in the world, and they both had an amazing fight, and then it's just that. But like, there's always
Yeah,
stuff you can do better or things you can fix. And so for me, it's not like, oh, I want to get back in there and right that wrong. I already
yeah.
know what I'm capable of. It's more of I have to now fix the mistakes and then go back in there. And so like, I wanted to not get right back in there, but to an extent shortly after. But I just ended up having knee problems, and it was something I had before that was
Yeah.
existent that just didn't. I kept getting shots or getting things to like avoid dealing with it, and then now it just became like a more of a big problem, and then I had back to back surgeries because of it.
Are you looking to come back this year with this knee? Or
Yeah,
are you probably
no,
looking?
yeah, no, soon, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm starting back up with striking training, wrestling, and
Hmm.
jiu-jitsu, all that within the next few weeks, and like I'm hoping. I mean, I got offered a fight. I'm not gonna say who, and that's not my mouth
Yeah.
to say that, but it was UFC Chicago, and I was supposed to be able to take that, but it would have been way too close to. It would have been the same situation with less time than my last fight, when it's like I need to just have enough time, be healthy, prepare properly. So hopefully in the fall, we'll see, like October, September, November, who knows?
Do you have an opponent in mind that you like, want to fight next? Like when you look at the welterweight, you're like, this person could be cool for my return fight.
Jack Della Maddalena.
The rematch.
Yeah, let's do it. Why
I'm
not?
I'm here for it. I'm
Live
here for it.
once. Dude, I would love that rematch. It's not real, but yeah, I'm just gonna say the champ. That's all. I don't because I'm not a ranked fighter. Like I'm not a top 15, so there's no point of like I'm like looking at guys 2 spots ahead of me or 3 spots.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit about that. Right now, it's about fight, make more money, and then work my way up to be able to fight ranked fighters and fight for the championship.
You and Gilbert Burns would be a cool fight.
I would love that, but I don't think they'll do that.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Burns stays in the fight game for 2 more years. You get 2 good wins, and it's like, let's run it as a fight night main event. You versus Burns.
That'd be awesome.
That'd
Yeah.
be dope.
Who knows, man? I know. I gotta go out there and do what I gotta do in the fight.
Yeah.
I gotta go out there and perform, get a finish, and continue to make the UFC want to promote me and want to build me up. So I can't go out there and have the same thing I had in my last fight. I don't care what whether I was winning the fight or it was close or whatever it was beforehand. I have to go out there and get the finish in my next fight.
Do you kind of feel like your next fight depends on your UFC job? Because obviously people that, have more losses than wins in the UFC are kind of in risk of getting cut, or you don't think about that?
Back to what you're saying. Sorry.
Like, do you feel like if you were to lose your next one, you're in risk of getting cut, or you don't think like that? You're just like, it's on to the next, whatever happens, happens.
I mean, anything could happen. I can get cut if I lose my next fight. I don't think it would happen, but I don't think I'm going to
Hmm.
lose my next fight at the same time.
Yeah.
Too. I'm going to go out there and actually put a good performance on and get a finish. I've been doing a lot of like either I'm 100% grappling or I'm 100% striking, and so like I'm coming to my own epiphanies where I just need to mix it up properly. And when I do that, I feel like I'm one of the best in the world. And I'm not looking at if I lose the fight. If I lose the
Yeah.
fight, then yeah. Then if I lose the fight, they could release me, and that's life. Like what
Hmm. Yeah.
a lot of bad things can happen. You can't think about what if this, what if that. What if I, step outside and a freaking meteor hits and then or a nuclear bomb hits? My dog gets
Yeah.
run over. God forbid. Like, you don't know. You can't live life based off of that. So I'm just gonna
Yeah.
go and do my best and perform my best, and hopefully, I continue to do my best. That will not lead to me losing.
Yes, sir. I got 2 more questions for you, man, then we can wrap it up. This weekend, we got a big co-main event, Stephen Thompson versus Gabriel Bonfim at UFC Nashville. What is your prediction for that fight?
I got Bonfim by submission.
No. Yeah, yeah, dang.
I mean, I'm just
Oh,
looking at it like realistically.
yeah,
I don't think he's
yeah,
gonna strike with Wonder Boy like that. And we've seen it. Like he
yeah.
will grapple with a guy who can strike. So, and I think his grappling is better than Wonder Boy. Wonder Boy's not really a grappler.
That's true. Do you think if Wonderboy loses, he might retire? I know he's up there in age.
I don't think so. I don't think this is a guy he would retire against. I don't think it's. I think he would wait. I could see obviously like maybe he does a semi-retirement, comes back, but I don't think this is officially his last fight. No.
I would hope not. I hope Wonderboy can get that win, man.
I
Wonderboy
mean,
versus
I would like to see. Yeah,
Prates.
I would like to see him win, but I just don't think it's going to happen. I think he ends up getting grappled a lot and then maybe submitted. on Fiend.
I know. I need to see Wonderboy versus Prates.
Wonder Boy versus Prat.
I need that. I need it.
Striker's delight.
That fight would be amazing. But my last question for you is do you have a message for all your fans and supporters that have followed you throughout your career? And what can we expect from you in the rest of 2025?
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate everybody that's followed me in my career and supports me, and is definitely there on the road with me on the journey. And just expect that I'm not done yet, and I'm gonna continue to always grow. And this last fight was a wake up call for me to do better things and do great things in the cage. So I'm excited for the next fight.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. I know you got to go. So I appreciate the time, man. I've been wanting to interview you for a while. Like since I first started interviewing, you were one of the guys I wanted to
Oh hell yeah, bro!
interview
Anytime.
early.
I
So
respect what you're doing, bro. You're chasing your dream, and you want to have your own interview company and do interviewing fighters and grow that, man. Like I support that fully. Like do your thing and being a young entrepreneur, bro. Hell yeah.
thank you, man. My goal is to commentate for the UFC. So hopefully one day I get to commentate your title fight for the welterweight
Hey, that'd be
belt.
sick, man.
That
You
would be
got to
so
start
dope.
somewhere, bro. Get the right interviews. Got to start interviewing those commentators. Like, yo, what do I got to do to get in your spot?
Yeah, and I've been trying to get Michael Bisping on him and John Anik. I want to get on, so
You
I'm
should
trying
message.
to.
You should message John. He's a good dude. I mean, I know he's busy, but he's a real good-hearted dude. I could see him saying, "Yeah," if he sees the message.
Yeah, I love John Anik. He's my favorite commentator, so I love him.
Nice. Yeah, dude. I don't like what he said in my last fight, but shit, he's just doing his job.
What did he say?
He said, "Oh man, I think it was like Obama was landing a lot of leg kicks, and so I think it was Joe or DC. I think it was Joe said he beat that lead leg up, and then like as soon as after that he caught me with that overhand, I dropped, and then he goes, then he beat his face up too now or some shit,
No, John Anik, you're
some
so
shit like
wrong.
that. Like
No,
I'm like
J-
fuck, all right."
John Anik does have some funny calls. I don't know if you've seen that one fight in the Apex where he was like, both these fighters are dealing with child custody battles.
Yeah, I used to train with the one dude at the time when the
Yeah,
kids.
I was like,
Yeah, it's funny as shit. He just I think I like learned that he just says what he wants. Like you can't get take it personally. He's just doing his job, even though it
yeah.
might suck, but his job is to be blunt.
Dude, Joe Rogan had some crazy call in the Ilya versus Charles fight. He was like, he was like, yo, Charles is taking these punches pretty well. And then like right when he said that, Charles got slept.
Yeah, that's
And I
how it
was like,
always is. It's
the
always as
Joe
soon as they
Rogan
say it,
curse.
the universe is like, nah.
Nah, man, you got to be wrong on that one.
Yeah, yeah, but great interview, man. The question, so you can cut out that one spot. You'll be able to do that
Yeah, I can. I can.
where I messed it up.
I got you, man.
You just find a good spot where I stop, where I kind of like said a good word and then start
All
it
right, I got you.
back.
I appreciate your time, man. Thank
Yeah,
you.
appreciate you, Tracy, the man, bro. We'll do another one whenever I have a fight.
All right, perfect. Thank you.
Oh man. All right, brother. Be safe.
You too, bro.